I did a video yesterday on companies that I didn't think you should buy, basically in the cruise industry, the airline industry, um, and the restaurant industry. Today, I want to talk about the disruption and technology change that is coming and how it's going to change an entire industry. And I'm speaking of the insurance industry. And yes, I did get a haircut today. The insurance industry dates back to 1680, and a familiar name, Lloyd's of London, actually was a coffee shop in downtown London near the pier. And their origins were built around insuring the maritime industry, providing insurance that if you lost your cargo or someone pirate took your cargo, you could buy insurance on it. And that evolved into the insurance industry that we know today. A sizable industry. I was thinking last night about the amount of money that I spend on a monthly basis for insurance, and that would include my life insurance, my long-term care insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance. I have an umbrella policy. I'm building some homes, so I have a builder's policy. I Nita takes care of that. I venture that it's in the thousands of dollars a month I spend on insurance. So I then look at what's happening in the world and how this technology is going to change this industry dramatically. Here's a chart or a graph showing the major players in the insurance industry. And you can see some names that you're very familiar with: State Farm, Allstate, Berkshire Hathaway, Liberty, Travelers, Progressive. That's, what's her name? Flo. I could do without Flo. Progressive, yes, and Nationwide Farmers. So it's a big industry, a tremendous industry, but it's going to change. And so you as an investor need to know of this change and then channel your investments accordingly. What's going to change is the risk is going to move from the consumer to the provider. This is going to be particularly the case in the auto industry. And here is a picture of the major players in the auto industry. How that's going to change is we're going to autonomous automobiles. And so I won't have a need to own a vehicle. I will ride in a vehicle owned by someone else. The risk involved will be diminished dramatically. Statistically, it says that 90% of all auto accidents are caused by driver error. Well, if the car is being driven by laser technology or Tesla technology, and the traffic systems are being manipulated and controlled by 5G, and that car gets in an accident, who is truly responsible for that accident? Is it Uber or Waymo? Is it the city that takes care of the manipulating the signals and things of that nature? Is it the satellite company that takes care of providing that information? Or is it the 5G providers that feed all this information and control the grid? So that industry is going to change dramatically. And how it's going to shake out, I don't know. But over the next 5 years, I don't know that I would want to own State Farm or Geico or Progressive, because there's going to be disruption there. And we know from past experience what disruption can do. Then the other parts of insurance are going to go towards crowdsourcing, much like particularly in our health care and our life insurance. It doesn't make sense, and I've mentioned this before, that I, who am 75 years old, and I, who take care of my body, and I don't smoke, and I don't drink sweet drinks, and I'm moving away from red meat, and I control my alcohol consumption, and I get out and exercise. I don't sit on the sofa and watch Judge Judy and eat Twinkies, smoke cigarettes, and drink soft drinks. So why would I want to be in an insurance pool with someone who does do all those things? So I believe, and I think there's evidence that crowdsourcing will, through blockchain, offer me an option that says, Carrie, we can take you out of that insurance pool that contains whomever that is that eats the Twinkies and drinks the Cokes and smokes. And I will opt into that and say, no, I don't want to be with them. Now, who's going to insure those people? I don't really know, but I don't want to participate in it. And I think it's going to be some of these companies who are the large insurance companies. And so now the risk is really transferred from me, who takes care of my body, to the individual who doesn't take care of his body. He's now going to have a new motivation to stop smoking. Not only it's going to kill you, you aren't going to have any insurance after it kills you. So that is going to change, and I want to make sure I'm not holding the bookstore, the Barnes and Nobles, or whomever is going to, who was put out through disruption through Amazon. I don't want to be holding possibly State Farm, Allstate, Berkshire Hathaway, or Liberty. Who wrote that? What? Although I remember it, so I guess it works. So that is going to be a change. Then the other element is the rising network of sensors and artificial intelligence that is going to change pricing and sales. My car, I have a BMW, has 140 sensors in it. One of those sensors, I make it 141. One of those sensors is provided to me by my insurer, Allstate, and it reads my auto activity. I know that my auto activity is being fed to Google through my GPS system. So the whole market is going to change, and I, as an investor, am saying, if I own any of these insurance companies, I probably want to start moving away from them, because they are going to be the victims, if you will, of the disruption and the technology that is coming their way. They are unstable. So if anything, and I don't think this is going to happen in the next year or 2 years, but as a long-term investor, I need to be aware of this. I looked at some of their charts today, and they're just basically trading sideways like a lot of things are. I don't think that the majority of the Wall Street community has given this any thought whatsoever. I don't think that the insurance industry has given any thought to this whatsoever. I don't think they recognize that they aren't going to be able to afford their high salaries, their large conventions, their 34-story buildings, their sales force. That's all going to go away, because technology, crowdsourcing, big data, artificial intelligence is going to drive me, the consumer away from them. That money that I just don't want to really know how much I spend on a month will be eliminated from my budget, because I'm not going to need. This is another thing I was thinking about last night. I have long-term care insurance. I've had it since I was 50 years old. I have it on my wife, but I don't know that I'll ever need it. As I was thinking about it, my mother died of cancer. She never went to a nursing home. She died in a hospital. My daughter died of cancer. She never went to a nursing home. She died in a hospital. My grandfather died of heart disease because he was a heavy smoker. My other grandfather, I don't really know. He was a barber and a bookie. He may have had a run-in with a bullet in his head, as far as I know. Nobody ever talked about that. So the data that is going to be provided to me, the artificial intelligence, is going to help me make better decisions about how I insure myself. And I think it's going to disrupt the insurance industry. And I think you, as an investor, need to plan your investments accordingly. If this is your first time to my YouTube channel, these are the kind of things we talk about. We don't talk too much about the new relief program that the Fed is going to provide. We're more long-term thinkers. I think our economy is going to be fine. I think we're in the midst this week, next month, in a downturn from the pressure of the coronavirus. But in the long term, our economy, your fortune as an investor, is going to be affected by technology and the convergence of technology that causes disruption and changes the industries that we deal with. This is just one of them. I'm going to do a video about one that I'm real excited about, and that is the entertainment world. I think sports as we know it is going to just be phenomenal in the future, as we become participants in the NFL as opposed to observers, as we become participants in the NHL or in NASCAR. We'll become participants, and I'll explain to you that earlier. I put out a daily market plan. If you would like to be included in that daily market plan, where I share additional information on subjects like this, subscribe at bestofusinvestors.com. Just give me your email address and I'll send it out to you for free. It doesn't matter if I send, well, it does. My constant contact bill is going up as you all are growing that mailing list substantially. So that's the insurance industry. It's going to change dramatically, and you as an investor need to know that.